Only hours after reports agreement was close, the American envoy at the
call this meeting of the North Reading Board of Selectmen to order. First order of business. Excuse me, before we get into the agenda, I'd just like to take advantage of my position, a little liberty here. I was not present at the last Selectmen's meeting. I was enjoying myself on vacation, and I'm talking with some members of the board prior to my going on vacation. I'm sure there would be a nice quiet meeting and nothing of any consequence would occur. I would first of all like to compliment Mr. Vino for chairing the meeting, that last meeting, and the other members of the board for exercising such restraint in light of what occurred in relation to the Teamsters' actions here. I'm not so sure that I would have exercised the same type of restraint, so for the fact that I wasn't here, I guess I appreciate that much. But again, what I read in the newspaper and what I saw, I found, very disturbing. I thought it was totally uncalled for and unprofessional. I think that I don't think that the police association is being well served. I don't think the community was being well served. Certainly the neighborhood here was being disturbed, and I think that again, the board is to be complimented for the restraint that they showed. I think it was unfortunate that the police department was unable to properly restrain their chosen representatives, the Teamsters, in their behavior. I think it's also important to note, for the public to know, that it is of the utmost concern of this board to move forward with the negotiations, make sure that we move forward as expeditiously as possible. But I think it's also important for the public to know that part of the delays in the negotiations does not lie at the feet of the administration, and that it was the police association which decertified their elected representatives in union, which caused almost a one-year delay in the negotiating process with them after they decertified their previous representatives, had to go through the certification process, and they chose the Teamsters to be their negotiating representatives. That delayed the negotiations almost a year. We had nobody to negotiate with until they chose, and that choice was then certified at the state level by the State Labor Relations Board. Additionally, over the last close to 3 months, it would appear, based upon the Teamsters' actions, the association, that they've spent more time protesting at this board meeting. They've been at 2 board meetings now. They've spent more time protesting in public at this board's meetings than they have spent at the negotiating table.
Excuse me, Mr. Chairman?
So,
point of order here.
yes, sir.
If we're going to discuss this, obviously, I'm not too sure about the grounds of my conflict. You're not speaking for me at all.
No, I'm speaking for
okay?
me. And I'm sorry, I wasn't
The
present
other thing
night.
is, if we're going to do this, I think that we should have an opportunity for whoever you're discussing or talking about to come in here and represent themselves in what you're saying. If you're going to take a public forum at this point to discuss things like this, I think the other people should be asked to come in here in order to defend themselves, because I strongly disagree with you on a number of things that you've said about the board, and I feel, in fact, are not at all correct.
Well,
And therefore, I
again,
feel if we're going to do this, we should notify them. and
You're
give them
more
a
than
chance.
welcome, and as far as the police association and the Teamsters, they seem to be taking it upon themselves and playing their own set of ground rules. I just want to let the public know that it's the utmost importance and a priority for this board to get the negotiations moving forward, get them settled, give them a decent wage. They do a tremendous job and provide a tremendous service to our community, as do the firefighters, and we hope to come to an expeditious conclusion in relation to the negotiations. But I think what transpired was unfortunate. I don't think they're well served, but that's for the police association to decide who they want to have represent them. That being said, again, I'd like to congratulate the board members again for their restraint, And with that, I'll move on with the agenda. Approval of minutes, July 16th, 2001, regular session.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the July 16, 2001 minutes as written.
Is there a second?
Second.
The discussion, the chair was not present at the meeting, so I will be abstaining. Any further discussion on the minutes of July 16th? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Those opposed, and chair abstains, so 4, 0, and 1. Correspondence. Members have all been provided with a list of correspondence. If you wish to see anything, I'd be more than happy to provide you with a copy of it right now to look at. Otherwise, if you'd like a copy for yourself, again, just circle it and give it to Linda, and we'll have it for your packet for the end of the week. Everybody all set? Okay. We have 2 public hearings tonight, one at 7:45, posted for 7:45, and one at 8 o'clock. We'll have to stick to those time frames because they were advertised for those specific times in case any members of the general public wish to be present and be heard. So that we will be having a public hearing on Reading Municipal Lights petition at 7:45 and a transfer of the package store license at Cappy's Liquors at 8 o'clock. So therefore, we'll move down to agenda item number 5, town-owned land, map 8, parcel 278. I guess this was a holdover from the last meeting. And again, this particular parcel is 19A Hollywood Terrace, approximately 3,200 square feet, been petitioned by Stephen and Laura Glavin to purchase the land. I think at the time there was we were awaiting some correspondence from the Planning Commission, which I guess we did have some. I don't know how we got, but I'll just read into the record. The Conservation Commission from Mary Trudeau to review the plans of the parcel. According to the mapping, the parcel contains neither wetlands nor floodplain. The property is located within the watershed to the Martins Pond and should be considered environmentally sensitive. The watershed is overdeveloped and the remaining open space areas are valuable in protecting the quality of the Martins Pond. While this parcel is only 1,300 square feet, it does provide a small amount of open space habitat for wildlife. It is the opinion of the Commission that continued development within the watershed should be discouraged unless public sewer services become available. The Commission would support the sale of this property if the land is needed to allow for the repair or upgrade of an existing failed subsurface sewage disposal system. If the property is to be used to allow for additional expansion or growth of an existing dwelling, the sale of this property is discouraged. Mr. Halligan, the building inspector, inspected the lot as requested. The lot, and just to summarize, it's only 40 feet of frontage, and therefore the lot is not a buildable lot. Mr. Rogers from the planning administrator. Again, the subject property has 40 feet of frontage on Hollywood Terrace, which is an unaccepted street. Zoning districts and residence B, RB, and Aquifer Protection District, and the parcel is not buildable. Again, at the request of Selectman Murphy, the CPC has reviewed the above noted parcel. It does not meet the minimum state requirements for being a buildable lot. Community Planning Commission recommends sale to an abutter. Again, I think members have all received information from the Board of Assessors as far as map parcel assessed value. And I think that's about all the correspondence we have. That's all we need, too.
Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Murphy.
I'd like to make a motion. I move to sell by auction town-owned land designated as map 8, parcel 278, located at 19A Hollywood Terrace in accordance with Mass General Law, Chapter 60, Section 77B, at a minimum bid price of $3,000, subject to the following restrictions: that the lot not be used in and of itself as a separate building lot. The premises shall not be used to satisfy minimum zoning or health code requirements for the construction on or use of any building or on adjoining land. No building or other structure of any kind shall be erected or maintained on the premises unless the premises is combined with adjoining, and said adjoining land already meets the minimum requirements of the town of North Reading for a separate building lot, and to waive the provisions of Mass General Law, Chapter 40A, Section 6, pursuant to its ninth paragraph.
There's a
Second.
motion, is there a second?
Second.
Motion duly made and seconded. Any discussion? Mr. Murphy and Mr. Rowe.
I'd like to, again, apologize to the Glavins for slowing the process down. It was important to me that I see communication from the CPC as to what, evidently there was a mix-up and they had weighed in on the subject, but I was not privy to that, and I was just uncomfortable without hearing their viewpoint, as I stated to you that night. I think it's in everyone's best interest that we make sure everyone gets heard from before we take any action on these types of lots. So again, I apologize for the delay.
Mr. Rowe.
On section 3 there, where no building or other structure, is a subsurface sewage system considered the structure?
Again, that restriction only applies if they do not combine it with the adjoining parcel.
Okay.
So if they combine it,
They can
okay,
use it
they
for
can use
if
it.
they- okay.
Right. They can use it, they can put a shed on it, they can,
Yeah, okay, that was the only question I had.
but that's what the restrictions are there for, just to make sure that they combine the two lots. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Unanimous. Contact town administrator, may be advertised publicly. Pardon?
You'll let us know when there's a problem?
That's correct.
Yeah.
My assistant Karen will notify you.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Great.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for coming in. Well, this one shouldn't take long. Next agenda item is to discuss and review and approve, if we deem appropriate, of the ambulance abatement policy. If board members recall, a few meetings ago, we met with ComStar, had some discussion in relation to procedures and how we wanted abatements handled. And there were some good constructive suggestions made by members of the board to the administration, and Mr. Younger's proposing draft policy for our consideration at this point. It's open for discussion. Mr. Younger?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I also added a couple lines onto this from what you received over the week. Just a second. Oh, yes, I'm sorry. On the first paragraph, ComStar, the draft proposal would be the ComStar would submit by the first of each month a list of all accounts that would either be submitted to collection or would be written out by them to my office. I've included also, this will include any request by an individual for an abatement. So the fact that, and that's what I meant to put in there also, but just wasn't that clear, is that if an individual, if they get notified they wish an abatement, or they notify us that they can't pay, then that will be also submitted with the package also. Next step, we'll review the list and notify ComStar in writing within 2